Hello everyone, welcome back to Riverbend Springs, and in this video we are going to have a look at the build menu and landscaping. So we have got a couple of fields here with grass on them to use as our base to start playing with things, but very simply we jump into the menu as you would in FS22 by holding the shift button down and P, and there we go. There we are in our little kingdom, the two fields ahead of us. Navigation is as was in 22 as well. Hold your middle mouse button down, allows you to spin around, look up and down, adjust your field of view, and scroll wheel allows you to zoom in and out. It looks like we've got a lot more scale though now, which is really nice for placing some of the bigger items, so that is great. I guess there's nothing left to do but to run through what's available. I do like the new interface. I have to say it took me a while to get used to it, but the more I'm using it, the more I'm getting used to it, which is quite nice. We have got down the left hand side there 5 key icon sets. The first one is all your buildings, then we have productions, then we have animals, then we have decorations, and finally landscaping. So let's run through these. I'm not going to dwell on all of them, but we will look at a few of them just so you've got an idea for what's what. But first up here, you have got your sheds. Now your navigation goes along the top here, so you scroll between your different sections like so, as you can see, but we'll start with sheds here. So you've got a nice mix of sheds. All the Herman sheds that we saw in FS22 are back, plus a few extras, and they're all nice operating doors. There's the nice red set that we have on our home farm here. So there's some nice decent stuff, and I have to say the quality of these is outstanding. So for example, if we place one of those down, let's just go and have a look at this. With the new textures and the enhanced textures, they look really good, and big step forward from 22. We've got openable doors and things on a lot more stuff, and you know, look at the detail on the wood in there and things like that. It is very nicely done indeed. So yes, we have got a little bit more choice in our sheds, which is great, but let's not dwell on this for too long. We will go through here. As you can see, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll let you discover these at your leisure, but lots of sheds in there. Moving to silos, again, some lovely options in here for your silos, some older style ones, some more modern ones, ranging from small ones to much larger ones, like so. And then you've got some storage sheds as well, bale and pallet storage there, of course, that we had introduced later on in FS22. And then you've got your haylofts, and then you are into your bunkers as well. So all of those stuff for your silage and your chaff as well, all looking really good in there, but some nice choices, Next up, we have got our silo extensions. Again, you know how these work if you played FS22, but these bolt onto the side of a main silo, so you can get extra capacity in there. And it does actually tell you, it's quite nice, gives you this little key saying that if you want this supplementary water tank, you need to put it next to another building, again with these silo extensions. So you can't go far wrong with this. I mean, your heap needs to be placed next to a barn. That isn't a cow barn, so it means an animal barn. So it's good from that perspective. You can't go far wrong with that. Next up, we have got our Constructibles. Now these are exciting because these are the buildable houses and barns that we were teased in one of the blogs a little while ago, and they're quite nice. So for example, I can put this down here like so. It shows you what it looks like, but when you drop it down, it gives you your building site there. That is where you drop your materials. It tells you what materials you need there in the bottom right hand corner. Farm Garage 4. Wood beams, planks, long and planks. We're not going to build one in this video, but we will look at that at a later date too and have a go at building one or two different things. Next up is your containers. So this is things like your fuel tanks, your water tanks, some smaller silos and things like that as well. Lots to choose from there. And then you're into your tools. So a weather station, improve the weather forecast available to your farm. We'll see about that. Your pressure washer, electric placement, your garage. You'll recognise these, the way stations. You'll recognise those from FS22, just been updated. And then you've got your farmhouse, and there's loads of options here. Everything from a caravan to some really nice exotic houses everything from some US style ones to some more European style ones in there, but everything across the range for you to choose from, and that takes you back to your sheds. Then we're going to move into productions, and there are a lot of these. So again, I'm not going to run through these in massive detail, but I will just touch on some of them. So you've got 3 BGAs at the top, and then your traditional things like your bakery, carpentry. Now, cement factory, there's a new one, and as you can see down, the inputs for that are just rocks. So rocks become a little bit more useful, and I'm guessing they'll be used in some of the construction modes as well. We've got the cereal factory that's come back, the dairy, of course, grain mill, grape processing, oil mill, the paper factory, which we've heard a lot about before, and that will take trees and turn them into rolls of paper and cardboard. We have a sawmill that outputs various different things, and then we have a slightly different sawmill with a wood miser LT15, so I'm guessing that's some sort of tool or chopper that will fix that. In fact, let's have a look at that, shall we? So there you go, there is your shed. What is a wood miser? I think it might be this tool here, I don't know. It is, there we go, it's got the name on it. So we've just got a cutting tool there for cutting our wood and our logs down to shape and size, and there we go, there is where our wood chips go as well. But again, you can see the detail in these, it's really, really nice. Very nice indeed. So moving on again with what we've got in here, spinnery, the sugar mill, tailor shop, debris crusher, a cooper for making barrels and buckets and things like that, the rope maker, which there's been a lot of speculation about that as well in terms of how you would make that, and it looks like we will be taking wool or cotton for that, a tailor shop, the bakery, another dairy, potato processing plant, a preserved food factory, soup factory, a spinnery, and then we go on to these lovely little compact productions. So there is a bakery. There are a few more in here as well. Preserved food factory, carpentry, and obviously look at the size of these. So if you're starting a small farm, you don't have to find huge amounts of money to buy productions now. Another little small dairy there, grain mill, oil mill, grape processing unit, sawmill, spinnery, sugar mill, and a tailor shop. So these are a really nice little touch. And again, let's just go and have a look. We've placed the dairy down here. But for a relatively small amount of money, you can run your own little productions. There you go. I did say it was the dairy, it's a baker actually. But there's your bread, you've got your ovens, and you've got your prep area here. It's really nice, isn't it? A nice touch, that. I do like that. And that's just the factory. So let's push on. We've got selling points then. So biomass, piano manufacturer, debris crusher, biomass heating plant, a bigger debris crusher, the small farmer's kiosk, which sells pretty much everything, a big farmer's kiosk, and then the bigger farmer's market as well. Greenhouses then, you have got a small one just starting at 3,000. That is for rice saplings. That's specifically for rice saplings, that one. And it looks something like that. But then we've got a small tarp greenhouse, and that is providing some of your vegetables there. So chilies, spring onions, 2 types of lettuce it looks like, strawberries, your garlic and your tomatoes, and you've got that in 3 different sizes, small, medium, large, and then you have glass greenhouses as well, again in small, medium and large. Then you have your small mushroom greenhouse, your medium and your large mushroom greenhouse. And if you haven't seen these are pretty cool. Let me just pop it here. We'll go and have a quick look inside this as well. Water in at this side, and if we open the door here, in we go like so. So there you go. I'm not going to dwell on productions here, but I thought you'd like to see this one. Basically you put water in and you get mushrooms out. How good is that? Basically free crops with a little bit of water. But it's a nice touch, that, and they think they could be quite lucrative as well. Okay, back in the menus after greenhouses, you've got your cultivations, and of course you've got your grapevines and olive groves in here, but this is where you find your rice fields as well. And as we have with the pastures, you can just draw your little square like so, close it off, and when you're finished, You hit the right click and there is a very small paddy field, but it gives you an idea for how you do that. We'll obviously be looking at rice separately at some point, but it made sense to show you that just here. Finally, in our productions, you have your generators. So in here, we have got solar panels, windmills, and of course the government subsidy mod, which is the first mod that is available in the mod hub. Okay, after productions, we have got our animals. Now, I have done a video on placeable pastures already, and it does say that all of the buildings now are placeable pasture ready, but we have the cows here, everything from this small 15,000 cow pasture right up to the 722,000 cow shed with the Lely Vector robot in there as well. Of course, then you've got your horses as well. You'll see that in a similar starter pasture, but then a few different options available to you as well, going up in size. Pigs, the same, 5 different options there, growing in size every time. Sheep, and there are 4 options there. And then it goes on to chickens, and there are a few options for that. Bees, way more options for bees this time, which is great to see. And others, which is the dog. So no cats. I know a few people had asked if cats were coming. We have just got the dog house. Now you'll notice there are no goats. Why are there no goats? Well, I'll show you. Let's just pop this down here somewhere. Right, so we've just placed this down. I didn't bother drawing the customizable pasture around it. This is a sheep pen as per the menus, but if I press R here, we have got our sheep, but we have our goats as well. So our goats come in the same section as our sheep. So after animals, you have got your decorations. More fences than you can shake a stick out. I am not going to go through these individually. As you can see, I'm scrolling and scrolling. Loads and loads of options that should satisfy everybody's various quirks when it comes to the type of fencing they like to use. After that, we've got lights, everything from huge spotlights to floodlight your farm to some nice decorational stuff. Further down, again, so many of these. And then finally, others. These are decorational, but you've got your tool sheds here where you can store your hand tools. But then there are a lot of decorational objects in here as well. Now, I don't know if you can get into these or they are purely for decoration. So let's place one and let's just check. I think these might just be visual, although you can see inside them and they look nice. Can we get inside them? You can. So again, a huge step forward. I was expecting those. When it said it was purely a decorational object, I was like, well, I can understand if you can't get inside them, but look at that. You can get inside these, which is fantastic. So there you go. We've even got lights in there. So, love that. Great that you can use all of them. I'm not going to test them all. I'm going to make the assumption you can go inside all of them, though. And again, look at that texturing. What a difference that is. What an improvement on 22 with the higher def textures. So there you go. There's a myriad of different sheds in here. Lots and lots to choose from. So that is great to see as well. And then we go back to fences there. Final piece of the jigsaw, and probably the thing that everybody's really excited about seeing, and that is landscaping. And unfortunately, it is exactly the same as FS22. I cannot see any changes to how landscaping works. We don't have an undo button or anything. I know that's a hard thing to do, of course, but everything works the same as it used to. So you can raise your ground up, you can flatten it, you can smooth it, build your slopes here as we're doing, and that is it. As you were, unfortunately. So I was expecting maybe something to change in the build mode, but we don't have anything now. Whether or not it's going to be easier to handle stuff, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see about that. Certainly it feels and behaves the same. Maybe it's a little smoother because we've got the more dense texture now. You've got a little bit more fine control over this. It does actually feel quite nice to play with stuff there. Feels like we've got a little bit more control over it, which is good. Next up to that, though, we have got our textures. So you've got many different textures to choose from. Actually, not that many, but new ones, new textures. Everything from tiled yards to stonework to stone, gravel. So a few, I'm sure we're going to see a few more textures coming from modders relatively quickly. There's your base grass and mud and things like that. So they are all in here still. You shouldn't have any troubles getting creative with those. And then, of course, all the new style of much higher density trees and bushes. We've got plants here as well. This is your grass, bushes, all of this stuff, as you would expect to see, is all in here again. And that is that. But yes, I was expecting to see something changing in the landscaping mode, but it doesn't look like we've got anything. But I do think it feels a little bit nicer. I'm not just saying that. I think that tighter density, that smaller density map that we've got now, going from 0.5 meter to 0.125 of a meter, definitely gives you a little bit more fine control. We don't have as many jaggy edges and things like that. It's a lot smoother. So it feels a little bit easier to use as well. So there you go. That is sculpting. And that is a little bit of a whistle-stop tour around the build menu, some of the new buildings, how you place things like placeable pastures and fields, and the landscaping mode. I hope you found that useful. I'm sure you're going to get your hands on this and have a play around with it in the next little while and discover more, and we'll do a bit more of a visit over this over time, but just to give you a little bit of an overview there, let you see the new menus and get your head around it. So there you go. I hope that was useful. Thank you very much for watching. More of these to come, so stay tuned. Take care. Bye for now.